I, F26. Do not trust my boyfriend, M24, anymore and I don't know what to do about this. Hi everyone, I, F26, am in a relationship with a man I really love, M24, since more than a year. I am seeking your advice today because I am completely lost. At the beginning of our relationship, a lot of small details bothered me but I decided not to pay too much attention to them because the rest was going well and I wanted to make efforts to avoid arguments or unnecessary unpleasant conversations by taking it upon myself. Unfortunately, a few months ago, my boyfriend lied to me brazenly during a heated conversation when I asked him about something that had happened in my absence. He had gone to a party and ended up completely drunk, which is not in his habits, and had ended up sleeping at a friend's female flat. I had tried to reach him by calling him many times. I was very worried and he did not answer. When he finally picked up, he immediately answered that the evening had been postponed at a friend's house, male. But in reality he had just left this girl's flat, where he had slept and vomited. I only learned a few hours later that what he had told me on the phone was a lie and I got really angry at him. In his defense, he told me that he had alcohol in his blood and wasn't thinking when he got me on the phone, but in the meantime I had evidence that he had enough clarity of mind to send a message to one of his friends asking him to delete the photos and videos of that moment. But I'm getting there. About 2 weeks later, when I had a feeling that I didn't have all the details of the story, I asked him if he had told me everything and if he was hiding anything from me because that's our couple policy. Complete transparency, no lies or hiding and 100% trust. He kept telling me to trust him, that nothing more had happened, that he had told me everything and I believed him. The next day as we were getting ready to go to a restaurant I got messages from an anonymous account telling me that I needed to have a conversation with my boyfriend because I didn't know everything. Attached to these messages were screenshots of a conversation in which my boyfriend asked the other person to delete the photos and videos of the evening and not to tell anyone about it. I must admit that it was a huge shock for me. The day before I had asked him if he was hiding anything from me, but he lied to my face while I had been physically tender with him. On the screenshots I could even read that he had given a version of the facts of the evening to his buddy so that he would transcribe all that to me. I had sent a message in the night to know if everything was okay because my boyfriend did not answer. He responded by swearing to me that he was going to talk to me about it, that he was just waiting to talk to a buddy and that he felt terrible about it. He told me he was going to fix it and do everything he could to earn my trust back and I decided to give him a chance but I realize that it's hard for me. I really like him but I don't trust him anymore. I keep replaying the relationship and I realize that the lie is just one more element, although more serious than the rest, on the pile of details that disturbed me. For example, at the beginning of our relationship, I felt that I was not his priority at all. He answered my messages whenever he wanted, logging on all the applications we have in common without giving me any answer. He was getting closer to a girl for whom I had alerted him. In my opinion, she had a weakness for him but obviously it didn't bother him and he had really gotten too close. I had told him about my discomfort without him deciding to distance himself immediately. It was in fact at the same girl's house that he slept the night he was completely drunk. I remember that at that time I was really at the end of my life. I cried every night before going to sleep because I just felt like I didn't count and I wasn't respected nor loved. Anyway, all this to say that at the moment I can't be myself with him anymore and it's felt in the couple. I can't stop thinking about his lies, his past attitudes, the way I felt several times that I wasn't loved and wasn't a priority. What do you advise me to do? Should I wait a little while until he can prove himself? Or is it impossible to rebuild trust that has been broken in this way? I feel so lost. His priority is hiding his misdeeds, not confessing them. He does whatever he wants, regardless of your feelings. Leave him, he will make you miserable otherwise. Sadly, it sounds like it's best to walk away from this. This dude lied to you, and frankly, still may be withholding things from you in regards to that specific night. But the main point is, if he can't be honest with you about a night, how can you trust him down the road? He doesn't need to talk to a buddy before talking to you. Walk away. He really is not worthy of your time, or of you. Honey, this guy has done nothing but lie to you the whole time. That is complete bullshit that he lied to you because he had alcohol in his bloodstream. And you know he hooked up with that girl that night. You know that, don't you? With people like him you believe their actions and not their words, and his actions clearly show his intent and what kind of person he truly is. The best thing for you is to get him out of your life. You deserve somebody so much better than what he's been to you. He's never shown you that you are a priority. Run. Wife 30F approached me 30M about an open relationship. I'm definitely monogamous, so I'm experiencing a flurry of emotions right now. The idea of open relationships, sharing, threesomes is super hot. But I know that when I consider the actual logistics, I could never ever share her. She's my wife, and in our marriage my eyes have only ever seen her. She hasn't done anything but I'm feeling the same emotions the time I was cheated on by a past girlfriend. I guess because all said and done, I may not be her one and only, or she thinks about what it would be like with other guys, or something, and wishes to act on it. She did say that I'm the only person who could ever give her deep love and stability, and that if I didn't want to do it then she would rather stay together and live without it, rather than break up, but she also said she would be happier if we did it. So, where does that leave me? It almost makes me feel selfish to withhold any sort of happiness from her, yet, makes me so angry because I don't want to share her with anybody. She said it used to be a fleeting thought, around the time we were newly married, but now she thinks about it daily. So my honest thought is that she feels like she can live without it right now, but how long until it potentially becomes compulsive? Will it ever get to that, or do these things just fizzle out? I've never had these thoughts, so I don't know how much yearning can be behind them. She's seeing a therapist this week and plans to address the idea to understand why she might feel this way. There is a level of bliss and security knowing that your life partner only sees or wants you, so to have that idea shattered into a million pieces last night has really fucking shaken me. I love my wife. And our child. Absolutely. Beyond words. But I'm feeling so much grief right now. As if last night, something important died. Does anybody else have some stories or experiences to share? Is there a happy ending here? Adding the following information, which I included in a below reply. It may offer some more context. I know I couldn't live with it. In the past, she has said a few times that she wouldn't mind if I went out and sought sex with others. We don't have a super active sex life, and she in the past has wanted me to feel more sated sexually. So long as she didn't know, and we never spoke about it. But I think that's where the whole thing just falls on its head, because she gets extremely jealous if she sees another girl on my Instagram feed, and has expressed that she has never ever wanted to know or see what porn I watch when I do the solo deed. So I don't know how she would possibly be not okay with that, but okay knowing that I had gone out and courted another woman, and then we proceeded to ravage each other. Especially if it was somebody who was potentially more beautiful than her, or kinder to me, or funnier than her, or more sensual than her, or gave me better feelings of ecstasy than her. I also want to add that she had been having inappropriate conversations with another guy who has shown sexual interest. One of the boundaries my wife mentioned was that we would go out on the same night, almost like a hall pass scenario. So I feel like, more and more, that this guy is already lined up for her, and probably the main reason my wife has brought it up with me. I feel so sick inside. But thank you all for such amazing, beautiful replies and taking time out of your day to respond to me. I really do appreciate it, and it helps to know there's people out there willing to impart insightful opinions and knowledge to help me. Cheers. I am home now, and I just feel weird and sad. I drank, which I regret now, because now just feel awful. I don't feel numb, I feel sad. I hate this. My wife made me and our daughter dinner, and I can see she is putting so much effort in, which is breaking me even more. I think she regrets bringing it up with me. But she did. I feel so lost and I just want to cry. This really sucks. It really sucks. Anyway. 159 comments. You are all beautiful people, and honestly, thank you for taking time out of your days to help a stranger. Bless you all. Of fucking course, she waited till after she had her kid. She's been thinking about it for years, but didn't say a damn thing till she got what she wanted the most, a child with a loving father. Doesn't matter if you stay married enough to keep her true feelings at bay anymore. She's got that baby she wanted with a dad who will love them. Bud, you're fucked. She doesn't want to live the life she told you she did. Probably lied to herself too, since humans are amazingly good at that, and she got what she really needed you for. From here she don't need you anymore. I'm sure she'd love the security and all, but she doesn't need you anymore. Get your shit together, bud. These next few years are going to be a bumpy ride. You deserve better, brother. Bullshit. Shut that shit down. Either she's your wife, or she isn't, and she can bang a different person every day. There's no in between. Whenever I see this topic on Reddit, it always reminds me of the time someone burgled my house after the police had been and everything was put back and cleaned up. It took me years to feel truly comfortable and secure in it again. Things were replaced and it looked the same, but it just felt different. Your wife can't take back that conversation, and I think it's going to be a while before your relationship feels like yours again. I wish you luck. You might as well get a lawyer. You don't want an open marriage, and now you can't trust her. She's going to cheat on you. She already has someone in mind, or she wouldn't have approached you about it. Sorry man. I, 38F. I'm just so shut down, and my husband, 42M, doesn't understand why. My husband lost his job in January of this year. At first, I was supportive of him working for his friend. It's not a legitimate business, just fixing bikes, boats, cars and so on. However, 2 months in, he made a whole $187. It wasn't him working for his friend, it was him just hanging out with his friend all day. He was able to get unemployment, which wasn't much, $450 a week, and out of the 13 weeks he got it, only once has any of that money gone towards household bills. Before he lost his job, he was responsible for his own bills, car-ins, credit card bills and so on, and I was responsible for mine. We split household bills in half. It worked well for us. Once he lost his job, I took on all bills. Plus all groceries. We had several conversations about him finding a job and taking it seriously. He felt the $450 a week he got was enough for now. And he's right, if it was just him he could kinda get by. But we're a family of 4. Plus a dog and cat. I was drowning. I work a lot, I'm salary and have no option of overtime, in a stressful job. I'm solely responsible for an entire business, staff, and everything that goes with it to run smoothly, to come home to take care of an entire house financially and otherwise. Dishes need done? I did them. Laundry? Me. Meals need to be made? Me. Trash taken out? Me. I had little help. My kids helped me, but until last Friday they had school and schoolwork to get done. And they are only here every other week. It's been a whole lot on me. It's caused some fights. It's caused a lot of tears and stress. I begged him to be my partner. He just refused. Finally he got a job that he starts tomorrow, mainly 'cause unemployment runs out this week. He came home tonight, after being gone the last 14 hours or so with his friends, to get upset at me because I'm just so shut down. Everything has solely been on me for months, and he got mad at me for being shut down. I had to break everything little thing down for him. The amount of stress I've been under, while he just hangs with his boys, the long hours I've been working only to come home and clean this house and cook the meals, while he just hangs with his boys. Paying all the bills and trying my hardest to not go into debt, while he just hangs out with his boys. And he had the audacity to be shocked and confused on why I'm at the end of my rope. I don't know how to move forward here. I don't want to end the marriage, neither does he. I feel like some damage has been done to our marriage during his self-induced sabbatical from life, and I don't know how we can turn it around. He's finally hearing me, but I feel so angry that I don't know how to move forward with him in a non-toxic, petty-free way. I told him it would be best to just talk tomorrow, and I want it to be productive and not self-destructive. Any advice would be appreciated. Update. I don't have the energy to respond to everyone. Thank you for taking the time to read all this and giving advice. Many have asked what he was like before he lost his job. Everything was 50-50. I never had to ask him to pay anything, or do anything around the house. He just did it. He would see a need and handle it. His time was spent at work or with our family. Every so often he would go and spend time with his friends, which back then never bothered me because he was actively contributing to this family. His behavior didn't change right away, it was gradual, and I didn't notice it right away. When I did, I brought it up. We talked about it, things would change for a bit, but go right back. Over time I got tired of having to bring up the same things and honestly became defeated. A few of you have said he's shown me who he truly is, and that's hard to hear. Truthful, but hard to hear. Thank you. I have a lot to think about and really consider. It sounds like your best shot is to just hope this new job can turn him into who he was before. And just try to pass on. But the fact he was just hanging out and contributed little is a real hard pill to swallow. If he really hears you, is he willing to help out a lot more with household duties while you take a bit of a break? Once he is more settled into his job, could you afford couples counseling? If he refuses to do more than usual, he doesn't really want this marriage to continue, does he? Dishes need done? I did them. Laundry? Me. Meals need to be made? Me. Trash taken out? Me. I read this in Cookie Monster's voice and lolled. Sorry your husband sucks. Hopefully the new job will get him back on track and pulling his weight. He needs to be taking over household things today. And you need to stop doing shit for him. His laundry? No done. Dinner? He can make himself. You let this slide too far and should have set a boundary much earlier. Just poor decisions happening. Life is long. Your husband has now shown you who he is when the chips are down. Are you willing to invest in this kind of dynamic for the next 30+ years? I, 27M, caught my girlfriend, 25F, cheating on me. Background. We have been dating for 6 years now and have had a relatively good relationship up until this point. We have grown together, lived together, have pets together, and have begun discussing marriages and next steps in our life. This past weekend, I was looking over her shoulder and saw her texting a guy. I looked through her phone while she was in the shower a few moments later, and that's when I found out the horrible news. She slowly came clean about the full details as I had to pry the information out of her little by little. My initial thoughts were anger, sadness, and then confusion. This is a girl that I thought was madly in love with me and would never betray me this way, so I was wildly confused when I read through the messages. It turns out she met this guy while working at a bar and she continued hooking up with him multiple times over a 3-month span. According to her, the last time she hooked up with him she told him that she would never do this again. I am doubtful of this and think it is mainly because she was caught by me. After the initial emotions settled down, she told me that she always had low self-esteem and would seek out validation from other men that hit on her. She would crave compliments from other guys as she would not typically get them growing up. I would also like to point out that I am not a mushy boyfriend that showers my girlfriend with compliments 24/7, so I know she was not getting that attention in our relationship as well. The guy she cheated on me with would give her the validation she was not getting in her life, so she went through with it. Next steps. I told her that we are broken up and will need to work on ourselves before getting back together. We are still living together because I rely on her for pet care as I work in the office, and there is no way that I could handle them on my own. She immediately signed up for a therapist and said that she was going to work on her issues. Her parents had a messy divorce when she was a young girl due to her dad having an affair. She also has had no contact with her father since the divorce, so she has always had insecurity issues since then. I am also willing to do couples counseling to get a neutral third-party advice on the situation. I would like for everything to go back to normal, but I fear that we waste the next couple years working on restoring the relationship and end up splitting anyways. She is adamant that this will never happen again, but I have my suspicions. The fact that she was still hooking up with him up until the time that I found out makes me think that this would keep going on until I found out. I am also worried that she will get the urges again and meet up with him once her sorrow wears off. Your opinion. Please tell me your thoughts on the situation and if you think I am wasting my time by trying to work on restoring the relationship. I know that majority of times the cheater will either cheat again or I will never be able to forget about this, but is there any chance that it all works out in the end? Is therapy really going to make a difference? Thanks for your help. And #X200B. Too long did not read. My girlfriend of 6 years cheated on me. I am considering whether I should work on restoring the relationship or moving on. Please let me know your thoughts on the situation. My opinion? This relationship ended the moment she decided it was okay for her to cheat. There's nothing here to save. I'll add a couple more things as an old happily married guy. 1. You're not married. I know 6 years feels like forever because at your age it is forever. This comment is not to minimize your betrayal, which is massive, but you're not married. She showed her true colors. Get out while the getting is good and doesn't involve lawyers and children. 2. How I got to be an old happily married dude was walking away from a lot of relationships at the first red flag. Not the 10th or 100th. This is a massive red flag. Move on and find someone that won't do this to you. You dodged a bullet. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Imagine if this happened after marriage and kids? Good for you in deciding to separate, it will be good for your mental health. Now find someone that will love you and treat you with respect. Apparently the apple didn't fall too far from that tree. In the future, do you see yourself constantly having to wonder who she's texting? Where she is? What's going on at her work? If you are away and didn't say, "I love you," by noon, she'll be with the first guy she looks at? If you're ready to be prison warden, this relationship is for you. If not, find someone who can do the bare minimum and respect you the same way you respect them. Her seeking therapy is good, and likely long overdue, but how long was the affair going on? She only told you because you caught her. Is this the only time she's cheated on you? There are always exceptions, but most of the time once a cheater always a cheater. I don't know, Op. Think about it. She only came clean when you caught her. Imagine getting married and having kids only to find out your girlfriend and then wife had been cheating on you all along. Imagine going through the anguish of testing your kids to see if they're actually yours. You have dodged a major bullet here. 6 years is a lot, but submitting yourself to a lifetime of mental anguish and uncertainty about your partner is something I really hope you don't choose. Find someone who really cares about you and really loves you. Someone who loves you would never do this to you. Also, the fact that she happened to tell the guy she was sleeping with that she didn't want to sleep with him anymore right before you caught her is a classic example of why you can never trust this girl again.